Welcome, everyone. Today is such a fun day. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday season. Today, you guys are going to get to meet Robert Travers. He's actually a member of our community. He's been a member for the last few years, and he is such an incredible person, a wonderful online tutor, and he's also speaking at Impact. Now, if you haven't had a chance yet to sign up for Impact, you definitely want to get your ticket today. It is a free ticket. And here's what you can expect to see at Impact. Did you click the link yet? If not, there's still time. Just go into the description of this video, click that link, and you'll be able to join us. You definitely want to save the dates January 6th to the 8th because this is the most perfect way to be able to get your year started. Really get focused, really hone in on things about your business. We have speakers that are going to be talking about, how to run your online tutoring business, how to scale your tutoring business, how to teach in your online tutoring business and different strategies and things you're going to be able to put into place. And we have motivational speakers and oh my gosh, a whole bunch of people that touch on all these different elements to get you inspired and exciting. But I think one of the best and my most favorite pieces of Impact is the networking. And Robert, you had the opportunity to do some networking with inside of our community as well. For those of you that don't know who Robert is, he is the king of calculus. He teaches calculus, he teaches AP calculus, and he helps kids become curve busters. Because you know what? Why should we all rely on the curve in order to do well? So I'm really excited to have you, Robert, and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Joanne, for having me. It's always fun being here.
Yeah, it is. And you've been so good at networking throughout, once you started this, you really became involved in the community and reaching out to other people, connecting with other people. What has it been like for you to network with other people inside of the community?
Really, anyone who knows me knows I'm a huge introvert. I don't like talking to people, but I don't know why. It just seems like having that natural connection of tutoring has seemed to really open ev seems to open everyone up, myself included. And I mean, once you get started, it's really hard to stop.
Yeah, you meet so many interesting people, and there's so many benefits to networking inside of this community, and it's because of the networking that Robert does that that he was selected to come and speak. He's one of those people that he connects in a positive way with other people, and people refer Robert for his tutoring services. He refers other people for services that he doesn't provide. And I think when we have like this giving kind of community within, everybody wins. It's that whole idea of collaboration over competition. What were your thoughts about that when you started your tutoring business? What were your thoughts over this whole idea of like competition versus collaboration?
I mean, I always thought I grew up my my parents are business owners, so they they didn't get every customer, but I think that that mindset of, you know what, there's more than enough work to go around took a while to really develop,
Hmm.
but I found that, I mean, the saying's true, a rising tide flo- lifts floats all boats, I or something
Mm,
like that. But
yes,
anyway,
I love
but
that.
yeah, But what was I gonna say? Don't you hate it when you want to say something it
I
just
hate that.
goes?
Yes, I do. I do. It happens all the time. But yeah, a rising tide does lift all boats, right? And so if you think about that, if we are the rising tide inside of, our business and we have that opportunity to lift other people up, to encourage them to be successful, like their success is our success. And, you know, I think that there's so much abundance inside of our universe that there is more than enough for everyone. If you think about all the people in the world that we have access to, who speak our language, who need help in the services that we need, we no longer have to worry about our zip code anymore and being able to get clients within our zip code. This is about being able to help people who have a problem and help them solve that problem and get the results that they want to be able to get inside of, their own, academic career that they have. So I think it's so exciting when we do get to network and have that ability to get to know each other. And you've attended the past impact conferences. What was it like for you attending those conferences?
Oh, it was well worth it. I found that I learned a lot that I personally never thought of, and
Yeah.
I've tried applying some of those things into my own business, and I found success in that. And I said last year that I wanted to be a part of Impact at one time, and here I am.
I know. You were the first person to, like, fill out the form. I'm gonna do that again this year for people who are like, "You know what? I wanna be a part of the next impact. I wanna be part of impact for" you guys are gonna get that opportunity to fill out the form if that's something that you're interested in and be able to add value to the community, because this is one way that we get to network by being on stage, literally in front of, peers and other people. It's a great opportunity. Like, when you speak on stage, more people know who you are, right? And the more people who know who you are, the better. It's not about reaching on out to people and saying, "Hey, so I tutor blank. Can you send me students?" That's just awkward and weird to do. It never feels good. But all of a sudden, if you're like thinking, like, "Hey, I know this guy, Robert. He teaches AP Calculus, and I have a student struggling in that area. Let me reach on out to him." Right? And I think that's what this is all about. It's about being able to help you to be able to run your tutoring business better. Nobody likes to have to look and search for the next student that they're going to have. Nobody is like, "Gosh, I just so excited to go on this platform and reach out to people all the time and then have to go through this whole process of, will they hire me? Will they not hire me? Will they, I don't know. It's just a long, daunting process when you go about it that way. But when you use networking and attraction marketing, traction, think about like a magnet, right? Like it's got those two ends. Well, the two parts that come together, right? That's attraction marketing. So your clients are just being attracted naturally to you. That's attraction marketing. And you don't have to search for people all of the time to be able to work in your services. You've had people referring you for your tutoring business. What has that been like for you?
I was just about to add something to what you were
Yeah,
saying earlier that
yeah,
answers this question as well. I mean, on top of what you've just said, it's also cheaper, right? Because
right,
you don't have to pay a service or give X percentage of your income to whatever tutoring service that you signed up for, right? So
right.
at the end of the day, and networking is my number one form of getting students. It's almost as if I don't even have to try anymore,
Yeah,
and yet I still do. Don't get me wrong, but
right, right. Because it's about building relationships with people. Like inside of our tutoring business, we build relationships with our students, but we also need to build relationships with people who can refer us as well. And, it takes time to be able to do that. So, yes, it can be free. I mean, it just depends on like how you look at money. Like, well, I have to put in my time and I have to do this, but it's a way more fun way because building relationships with other people, like, you start to not feel so lonely inside of your tutoring business, and that
oh,
just does
absolutely. And I
wonders.
mean, oh, absolutely. Plus, I know I can't tutor anything, and quite frankly, I don't want to try.
Yeah,
So if I find people that I can refer, that's for any subject, that's awesome. And I mean,
mhm,
and I tell my students that I refer, I would if I refer you, it means I trust you enough that I would hire you myself.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, exactly, exactly, and I've done that with people as well, because you know what, as tutors, we don't really trust people so much. It's not just, like, random people who, like, message us and say, "Oh, will you send me students?" And we're like, no." That strategy just doesn't work. If it does, like, please call me out on that, but when I get those messages, I'm annoyed, I'm peeved. I'm like, "Don't waste my time." Like, if you're looking for, tried and true strategies for getting clients, let's talk. But just to reach out to me and expect me to give you something when I don't even know who you are, that is not the way the universe works. The universe works by you just being authentically you and helping other people throughout the process. And then if other people feel like they want to reciprocate on that, they can in any way that they feel is going to help and serve you. Sometimes that's by giving a student. Sometimes that's by giving advice. Sometimes that's by, I mean, there's all these different things that can just help build and grow our business. And you guys get to do this for free next weekend, not this upcoming weekend, the following weekend, January 6th to the 8th. You're going to get the opportunity to do this for free. So come join us, experience this. It's going to be incredible. And Robert, you're going to be talking all about uh, helping your students become curve busters. What's one tip that you can give us when it comes to this idea of helping your students become curve busters?
Biggest thing that I find is just to build that relationship with your student, right? Because find what they're when we build that relationship, we start to gather information about their strengths and weaknesses, and we can start focusing on more effective tutoring.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. That's what it's all about, you guys. So you definitely need to come. Why if you're to try to convince somebody who's like, "Yeah, I don't know if I really, want to attend, the conference or not." What would you say to somebody like that?
You have nothing to lose,
Yeah,
especially since it's free. You literally have nothing to lose.
I know,
So
right?
why not?
Yeah, exactly. All you have to do is sign up, show up, and, grab your coffee, sit back, relax, be able to enjoy all of the amazingness of that the speakers have to offer. And literally, it is going to be amazing. So super excited just to have this event and just, oh my gosh, there's so many incredible, incredible, incredible relationships that are going to be developed during the event. Uh, aha moments. You even get that opportunity. Do you ever like go to a conference, Robert, and you're like, you connect with something and you're like, you know what? I just got validation from that. I do that. Like, I do that. So I'm on the right path
Oh
when it
yeah.
comes to that, right? Like, and that feels so good, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely it does. Especially when you see other people have that same moment as you.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're just kind of like, "Oh my gosh, this is incredible, like, okay, I can do this. I've been doing it that way, but I didn't know if that was the way I was supposed to do it." And then you find out, yes, that is a way that works, and you're like, "Oh, that's awesome." And then there's gonna be those moments where somebody's gonna give you that one little tidbit, and you're like, "That's the game changer right there." That is the one tip that, like, if I were to be like, one aha moment that just came for me that I'm gonna be able to apply into my business, that's the one right there, and maybe you'll have several of those as you go throughout this conference. We have over 20 speakers, Robert. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy I'm one.
You are. And as I was listening to Robert as he was doing his talk, I'm like, this is so valuable for people when it comes to really understanding, what is the curve and how are our students affected by it? How can we help them remove this idea that I need to rely on the curve in order to be able to get a good grade? And I think I've seen this with my own daughter, just she I mean, the curve ended up getting her a grade she never thought that she would get, and she was just so excited. They just got their grades over at Madison, and she was like, Mom, I got an A in chemistry." It was like the class that she was crying about, like, she would call me from school, and she'd be like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get an A, and she's my 4.0 kid, right? And so she's like, "I don't think I'm gonna be able to get an A. I don't think," she's all worried, and I'm like, "You know what? Stop worrying about getting an A. Just do the best that you can. Like, you are a hard studier. You are gonna put in the work that you need to do. I trust you that you are doing the best that you can possibly do, and nobody is gonna expect more than that from you. So don't be so hard on yourself." And, she showed me her grades
Amen.
the other day, and she has a 4.0 in college. I was like, "I don't know whose kid you are." Like,
I mean,
that's insane.
I never did, so she's doing a lot better than I did.
Oh my gosh, I'm just so proud of her, like, to have those kinds of grades and that kinda stuff, but, some kids have this, like, internal nature to just want to do that and to be able to succeed, so how can we motivate those kids that aren't like her to be able to take that kind of responsibility for their own learning? And you guys are gonna get to see some incredible speakers that are gonna teach you specifically how do you get these kids to take responsibility for their learning? Because at the end of the day, our tutoring session is just an hour, right? And it might be a half hour, might be an hour. Usually for some of these older kids, it's an hour. Sometimes it's 2 hours. It just depends on, what you're specifically working on. But at the end of the day, if they're not taking responsibility for their learning and they're relying on other people in order to spoon feed them everything that they need, they're going to have to rely on that curve. They
Mm,
really are.
absolutely.
And that is not the position that we want to put our students in. We want to create lifelong learners, teach them how to learn so that they can learn. So, whatever it is they choose to learn in the future, they can learn on their own. And guess what? That's what this conference is all about. You get to take control of your own learning too, right? Because we don't stop learning as we go to school. There's so many things when we open our own business that we had to learn about. What are some of the things in the beginning that you had to learn about with your business, Robert?
I mean, again, I had parents that were business owners, so I watched them for a little while. But one of the things that I had to learn a lot about is marketing, right?
Mm,
Because I always thought, oh, students will come just by me saying, oh, I do this and I'm a graduate of XYZ university and I have a X degree in Y. And I realized, no, that may work for some. And I mean, if it does work, then that's great, but it didn't work for me, not at all.
no.
I mean, I had it took me a while to realize people don't people don't really care about your qualifications. They care about can you help my child in XYZ subject? And why
Yeah.
should I hire you? Right?
Yeah.
And again, it comes down to building those relationships.
Right.
And I mean, I could say that phrase 27 times today and I still wouldn't drive the point home enough.
Yeah. I know there's so many people like when you take a look at what is it that a parent wants. Some people do want a qualified tutor. That's why we set up our LinkedIn account, right? Because our LinkedIn account will show all of our credentials. It'll show all of those kinds of things and parents can make a decision from there. But I think when it comes to some subjects, you don't necessarily have to have this teaching degree or have this kind of licensure in order to do a good job and be able to help their kid get results. So, for some parents, it might matter, and for some parents, it might not matter. But we don't just lead with our credentials. And you guys, oh my gosh, there's an incredible speaker as well that's going to be talking all about this. Like, so how do you share who you are without it being boring? Like, so my name's Joanne Kaminsky. I went to Marquette University and then I started teaching at the Milwaukee Academy of Science. I taught there for 8 years and was a third grade and a fourth grade teacher and became a reading specialist. And oh my gosh, that is so boring to listen to, right? It's so hard. But when I all of a sudden move into story, and I start sharing my story of, you know what? I struggled with reading. I was a struggling reader, and I wasn't able to get help until I was in 6th grade. And at that point, other kids were able to take a foreign language. I sprinkled that in with the story, and then I share, and then I graduated 10th in my class, right? That's part of the story, went on to college, right? So I people can hear my story, but in a way that they can connect with it, not be bored by it. And think about like movies, it's all about storytelling, right? And that's what keeps our attention, glued to the screen, moments, there's high points, there's low points. What did you learn through those points? How did you transition to the next phase? Then what happened, right? And you always want to leave on a high note. And, you know, that's where you're like, and if I could do that, you could do that too, kind of moment. And everybody feels excited and wonderful. And oh my gosh, so you guys are going to get to learn how do I do that whole entire process with Robert Foster, another Robert, who shares all about the whole storytelling aspect so that you don't bore people to pieces because they just kind of glance over that kind of stuff. Like if you just write it as a bullet point list, they just kind of glance over it like, okay, great. For some people, it is like the end all be all. It's super, super duper important to them. But very few people are going to ask for your credentials. Very few people are going to ask you for, two forms of contacts that they can connect with because it's not like getting a job, right? This is about you being able to solve a problem. They're struggling with their grades, maybe in AP calculus, like Robert deals with. They're struggling with reading, like I deal with. What are we able to provide? Are you able to help them get a 4 or 5 on that AP test? That's Robert's able to do that. Am I able to close the gap in reading and help them read on grade level or above? Yes. How long will it take? I always tell people it takes between 8 to 12 hours of instruction to move them up one full year. Over time, that's what I have found my result is. And that's a result that a lot of parents want. And so you have to think about what is it that the parent wants for their child and what does the child want for themselves in that specific area as well. And when we can hone in on that, it is magic. So you guys save the date, January 6th to the 8th. If you haven't signed up, sign up, sign up, sign up. We're going to have so much fun. You're going to get to meet other people like Robert. And if you decide to join the VIP package, we would love to have you. The VIP package isn't just replays. You actually get instant access to those videos right now, along with their PowerPoints, downloads, awesome stuff. So all you have to do is, just say, yes, you would like to become a VIP. You also get special invites to calls with the speakers where you get to meet them and ask questions as well. So you'll be able to come on in and join us for that awesome stuff. So, and I'm going to be sending a VIP package every single day to those that become a VIP. So you're going to get a special package every single day where I give you gifts that are in alignment with what the speakers are sharing that day that you'll be able to use inside of your business. So you get the VIP package, you get access to the calls, you get the extra calls that you get invited to, and so much more. This is about helping you guys be able to reach your goals and start off 2023 with a bang. Thanks for joining us today, you guys, and we will see you soon. Bye, everyone.